welcome back to another Colourful Keto with Dori. So, in a moment, we're going to be joined by a member of my Colourful Keto Buddy group, and we're going to talk keto beginners, newbie questions, whatever you guys want to know. We're going to talk about resources, where to look for information, and where you need to go. So we're just waiting for Valarie to join us, and we're going to start with her questions. Now, if you guys have any questions, either on Facebook or on Instagram, pop them in there, and if we see them in the feed, we'll answer them tonight. And if not, I will circle back and answer them tomorrow. There is Miss Valarie. I'm so excited to meet her. Just so you guys know, this is the first time I get to meet Valarie live. I love hanging out with my girls. It's amazing. What? Yeah, it is.
Hello.
Turn it up. Hello. I figured we'd shake for a second. Just for a moment. How is your Wednesday, darling?
It is awesome.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yay, I'm so excited to actually get to meet you. I'm going to turn you up just a teeny little bit. Hello. Look at your lovely face. Hello. Queen wave, darling. Queen wave. I am so excited that you messaged me. So why don't we kind of start there, and you can tell people why you sent me a message, how long you've been doing keto, and kind of where you're stuck right now.
Okay, so I started in February, sometime in February. I have a grandson who he actually just turned a year old on the 2nd of this month.
Happy birthday, baby.
This is mom and dad's anniversary.
Ooh.
So their third wedding anniversary, their son turned a year old. And I wanted to lose weight so that I would be healthy for him. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, I seen this human beached whale, I guess you'd say.
Oh, girl, we all woke up to that one day and we're like, what? How did I get that fat? I wasn't fat like that yesterday.
And my family has a nickname for me. It's called the Hobbit. I'm the shortest one, and I carry my weight well. I'll say it like that. You see it every bit. It's just that actually I've always had issues with my weight. I've always struggled with that because I'm so short. I always looked heavier than I was.
Yes.
And I've gone through a lot in the last few years, with the passing of both of my parents, a grandparent, a nephew, and other things. My health, I got real sick back in 2013, and I gained a lot of weight, and I lost some of it, but I never lost all of it. And I want to be healthy. And when I started keto in February, I don't know how to eat. I don't know how to eat keto. All I know how to do is grab a bag of chips and a Coke. That's what I did. That's how I lived for 46 years of my life, on chips and Cokes.
Yeah.
And so when I started this, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to eat? So I ate a lot of Brussels sprouts and cabbage and bacon, and now I bake a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of salads, but I don't venture out because I don't know. I don't have recipes. That's one of the reasons I messaged you, because I started seeing your videos. I'm like, gosh, she cooks really cool stuff. And I'm like, I need to try that. And I'm like, crap, it's so expensive to buy that stuff. And then I learned you can make your own butter.
You can. Your own butter, your own nut butters, your own flours. And you know what? I'm the keto on a dime lady, because my whole life we lived on a budget. I was a single mother, and I think what I use the term salty because I don't really want to use what I really feel about it, but I'm salty with the food industry because I really bought into that. I'm poor, I can't afford to eat better. Rich people can, maybe other people can afford to be healthy, but you know what? I can afford macaroni and cheese, and I can afford me a jar of Cheese Whiz, and, I can get me a case of canned soup. And honestly, before I found ketogenic diet, and I found it by accident too, everything I ate came out of a box or out of a can. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything I ate was
My biggest
pre-prepared.
thing is bread. I love bread.
Yes.
Bread? Whoa. But it's so hard when you don't know. But I feel 10 million times better than I did. You know, I turned 47 on the 29th of January.
Happy birthday.
And I feel 27, except for the only thing I have problems with is my sleep. I still have trouble sleeping at night. But I feel better. I'm not sick with stuff. I just feel so much better. It's just amazing what a difference it's made. You know, I just want to get them. I can't. The scale just won't give up.
Well, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. And I'm going to say I feel healthier in my 40s than I did in my 20s. You know, I'm in better shape. I'm less winded. I'm not sick all the time. I don't deal with irritable bowel syndrome anymore. Depression, girl, I was the most depressed, sad person you would ever see, and my whole life. My whole life. And that's the hard part.
When you've gone through stuff and you're trying to lose weight and you're going through stuff, it just makes it even worse. The depression is like unbearable.
Well, and it all comes from you at every angle then, right? You know,
Right.
you're confused because you're sorting through information. You've got all these different emotions going on, not only with your weight loss, but with your emotional loss. And for me, I gained my 20 pounds when my mother passed away. So I understand that, you know, the emotional eating that comes from that. And, you know, being in a family where I'm surrounded by unemotional guys. So for me, it's, I don't know how to deal with these feelings. Do you know you have too many feelings? And I'm like, you know what? I have exactly the right amount of feelings. I have exactly the right amount.
I know exactly what you mean. Yes, I do. I'm a very emotional person.
Yes.
I drive my husband and my daughter insane. You know, because I'm like, I wear my feelings on my shoulders. He'll say, take your feelings and knock them off your shoulders.
Tuck that in your pocket, woman.
I can't help it. You know, I can't help it. But, you know, it's so hard. But I just want to know what I'm supposed to have, what I'm not supposed to have.
Okay. So
how to cook this stuff.
Okay, so let's start there. And this is what I'm going to do. I've got my other device. So this is how we're going to do this. Grab out your notepad. I've got my notepad and my pen too. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is when I was looking for food lists. Now, there's a couple. There's a couple that are really good ones. Wendy sent me a really good one as well. But I'm going to show you the first one that I used, and it's by Ruled Me. It's one of my favorite sources for lists. And if you just Google search, I'm going to try to angle this so you can see Ruled Me, and it will pull you up to their website. Now, the first thing it gives you is just a definition of what is the ketogenic diet. And I'm going to tell you as simple as I can. It is high fat, moderate protein, low carb. Now, everybody tells you that. The way that you do that is you add fat to everything you eat. Everything you eat.
Right.
So if you're having salad, you add olive oil or coconut oil, you add, a high fat dressing, a homemade dressing, you add sour cream, cheese, bacon. For example, you said Brussels sprouts. They're my favorite. If you're having Brussels sprouts, you cut them up, you put a good couple tablespoons of bacon fat on that, you steam that up, you put some salt, some pepper. But honestly, the only way to get enough fat is to literally add it to everything you eat. So if you're having your dinner and you've got a pork chop and a steamed veggie and a salad, every single one of those should have fat on it. So you should be adding fat to your pork chop, add a little fat to your veggies, add the fat to your salad. That's how you get enough fat in all of your food. Now, getting enough fat does a couple of awesome things for you. First of all, getting enough fat means you're not starving. Because what did we hate about diets? Right? The second you were on a diet, you're like, oh my God, I'm starving. Girl, I'm going to actually die though. Like, some people say they might die, but I'm actually going to. Because I'm starving to death. Now, for the first couple weeks, you're going to be more hungry. My son just started on the 1st. So he's in week 1 and he's ravenous. And that's normal. Your body is transitioning from burning carbs and sugar to burning good fat. So you're going to be more hungry. By week 3, that appetite's going to drop right off and you're like, oh no, I'm not hungry. Should I still eat? Yes, still eat.
Exactly.
Right? Still eat. So
that's the way I am now. You know, now I don't eat all day. I go all day without eating. And then when my husband comes in and I fix supper, I eat with him. And then I find myself not eating very much because of what I'm eating. You know,
yes.
It's strange.
Yes.
You know, he's like, it's hard to believe that because, you know, he started it with me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to get to a certain point, and then I got to eat because I have to work all day.
I got to work. I'm a working man.
I get it. You know, yeah. So I'm like, I get it, you know. But it's just, it would go, I can go a day and a half, 2 days, 3 days without eating. I drink my coffee with the heavy cream and the NCT oil and the butter. I mean, you know,
getting your fats.
I swap it up because I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to stay on one so long that it stops helping.
Yes.
So I kind of use one day, one the next, you know.
Well, and the term for that is fat fast. So what you're doing is you're doing a high fat fast. Now, those are one of the awesome ways to break a stall. Now, what Dr. Ken says is switch it up. You know, feed your body something different. So if you're in a stall, either up your vegetables or lower your vegetables. Up your meat, lower your meat. You might want to try cutting dairy for a week. My girlfriend Wendy adds mayo to her pork chops. She's like, oh, they eat the salad and the junk, and I just slather mayonnaise on my pork chop.
I don't eat mayo. But, I mean, that's one thing I haven't ever eaten much of when I was even little.
Okay, so we're at Ruled Me. I'm just going to try to turn it here so we can see. It's so hard to angle it where it's not shiny. So then click on Food List. And when you click on Food List, it will pull you up all the foods that we can eat. So Ruled Me, that's my favorite one for that. But in all honesty, I can give you the easy answer on that one too. If it grows above the ground, it's good. If it grows below the ground, it's probably not. Right? So the things...
I think the hardest thing I had to give up was sweet potatoes. That's
okay.
The thing that
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I haven't actually tried the recipe yet, but I know people who have, and I'm going to try a variation of it in about 6 weeks. I've got a recipe coming. But apparently, you can make a really good sweet potato alternative by using a steamed cauli mash mixed with pureed pumpkin, and together they make the flavor and the texture of sweet potatoes. Now, you can Dori that and one-up that, and you can make keto marshmallows to put on top and make sweet potato pie, girl, because that's what I make at Christmas time. I'm a sweet potato pie girl. So I would try that. You know, it makes it's the texture, the flavor is right. You can add a little bit of pumpkin spice in there, a little bit of cinnamon, cut up your keto marshmallows and bake it up, and chances are you won't know the difference. That is one of my favorites.
Sounds good. Sounds really good.
I'm going to try a version of, and I'll just give you a sneak peek. Someone mentioned to me that they really, really want, it's Vietnamese purple sweet potato cake. So I'm going to try that variation and add some other things, Dori Creative, and I'm going to try to make a version of that we can have. So it's a few weeks down the road. I have a couple more recipes to work on first, but just for funsies, why not? What are some of the other foods you miss?
See, that's the weird thing. I don't eat a lot. That's why I don't understand how I got so big. I guess it's just by not eating, and the things that I was eating weren't good for me. I don't really miss a whole lot.
Okay.
I miss the sweet potatoes. I miss my potato chips.
Okay. Well, and I'll tell you my favorite chip alternative. I love me some bacon chips. I love me some pepperoni chips. I love me some pork rinds.
I tried the pepperoni chips, and I did get me some pepperonis to try that.
Okay, you can do those up in the microwave.
Cheese. I've been making those cheese
chips.
Chips.
Yes, girl.
Also, I made some cheesy day, which turned out awesome. My husband was like, make some more. So I made like three different helpings. 3 different times I cooked it, and it's really good. The only problem is my daughter can't eat it because she has an egg issue. She eats eggs, they make her sick, so she has to. She missed out on it, but it is amazing. It tastes just like cheese bread you'd go buy at Pizza Hut or Little Caesars or somewhere.
Okay,
with
so
the garlic and the cheddar.
I will keep you tuned.
Mozzarella.
I'm gonna try an egg-free bread recipe that I came across, and I'll keep you tuned and let you know if it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the recipe, I'm going to try a mini loaf, I'm going to try it as buns, and I'm going to try to roll it out like a flatbread. So when I try that one, I'll keep you tuned and let you know, because it's an egg-free bread, and it's also nut-free. So it's made from seeds and no egg. So I'm going to try that one, and I'll keep you tuned on that one and let you know how it works, because fingers crossed, I think it's going to work. I actually think it's going to work. I have a few friends who are egg intolerant, so I am on the hunt for things for them as well. And I'll say this, everybody knows my pretty fluffy food, because it's pretty and it's fluffy, but my actual expertise is being able to convert recipes. So if you know somebody who's dairy-free, nut-free, whatever they're allergic to, whatever they can't have, that's really kind of my actual expertise, is figuring out how to make a version for them. So that's kind of what I've got on the go working lately. I can show you some of my favorite things that I make that are quick and easy. Now, my favorite, you said you make a lot of fried chicken. And what I do with that...
Well, I bake it.
Okay.
I'm not good with the frying part.
Okay.
That's what I was going to talk to you about. I'm not good with the frying part.
Okay.
And my husband loves fried chicken, but I don't fry it anymore. I make
Okay. So I swapped out the oil in my deep fryer for lard. So we deep fry at my house. So I just prep it and throw it in the deep fryer, and then it's a quick and easy meal. So a couple weeks ago, I made this one, and this is chicken tenders, and they are just breaded pieces of chicken, and I just coated them in coconut flour.
Okay.
And what I did was I seasoned them 3 different flavors. You just dredge them in the coconut flour with the flavoring and deep fry them. And they give you really lovely pub food. And I do the same for pork bites, chicken tenders, and for fish bites as well. So quick, easy, because at my house we used to eat a lot of deep fried pub food. You know, it would be deep fried pierogies and French fries and onion rings and drat ribs, and we'd have the spring rolls.
Well, we eat a lot of fried food here too.
And since we swapped, everybody loves the fried food, and for me it's convenient night, right? Like if we're having a movie night or it's wrestling night, I want a platter. I want to sit down as a family to a pub platter. So I make a lot of that kind of food at my house. Now I noticed on Instagram that my Donna said she really misses mango. And I also thoroughly love the mango. And what I do is I bought myself a mango flavored extract. And I make me mango yogurt, and I make me mango smoothies, and mango cocktails, and mango fat bombs, and I really, really did up on the flavor extracts when I started ketogenic diet, because I don't want to go without flavors. I love food, and for me, I know I got fat because I love food. Now, what I did was I fooled myself into thinking I barely ate. Because what I ate in front of people, they would say, "Oh, Dori, you barely eat enough to keep a bird alive." And I'd be like, "Yeah, you're right, I do. I barely eat enough to keep a bird alive." And then when nobody was around, at nighttime, after my small portion of dinner, I'd eat me a family-sized bag of chips. And then I'd eat me a family-sized bowl of popcorn. And then a chocolate bar or 2, let's be brutally honest. I ate 2 chocolate bars. And then I'd like lean my head on my ex's shoulder and be like, "Manna, share with me 1 bite of your chocolate bar?" And he'd be like, "Oh, fine, you already ate 2, but please have 1 bite of mine." And so I would. And then I'd eat me a big bowl of cereal for bedtime. So although I was eating very little during the day, and I was all like, "Oh my God, I barely eat enough to keep a bird alive," what I was eating at nighttime is what was making me fat. I was eating all sugar, all carbs, all at bedtime every night. Like, think about how many calories is in that. A family-sized bag of chips, and a bowl of popcorn.
Exactly. I mean, this, like, now, when I first started this, my husband's like, how many Cokes do you drink a day? I was like, well, I don't drink the 2 or 3 cans of Coke a day. He's like, look at the carbs on those Cokes.
Well, and the sugar.
Look at the carbs and the sugar. Look at the carbs and the sugar on that big bag of chips that you go down.
Right?
So, I mean, you do not realize, even though you think you're eating like a bird, like I thought, I don't eat anything.
I barely eat anything.
I eat all this weight.
Yep.
But I got to looking at the sugars and the carbs, and I'm like, oh my Lord.
Well, you think 3 cans of Coke a day is like 98 grams of sugar?
Yes.
That's almost 100 grams of sugar a day. And you're like, oh, but you know what? I only had 3 cans of Coke and a bag of chips and a chocolate bar. And then I wasn't hungry for supper. So then later I just had a snack. Because I filled up on junk and then I didn't eat meals. And then I ate more junk later.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. Exactly.
And that's how I got fat. And that's honestly how I fooled myself into thinking I wasn't fat too. Like, I was a size 26, but in my head I was like a size plus 14. You know, I was chubby, but I was sexy chubby. I wasn't gross like fat until one day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, why am I wide like a dump truck? When did this happen to me? Why didn't anybody tell me I was getting wide like a dump truck? Because I would have punched them in the face.
Exactly. Because I was the same way with my husband. I was like, do I look fat? Oh, no.
Oh, no, you didn't, boy. Who wants to sleep outside with the dogs? You do?
I have a doghouse. Jake would love some company.
Right? The dog's lonely. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other struggles that you've come across? Because you're 3 months in now. So
Right.
I know for me, to be honest with you, at 3 months, I still wasn't doing it right. I still was eating things I shouldn't. I was still buying products.
You know, I don't feel like I am at times. At times I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And then at times I'm like, what am I doing? Somebody help me.
Help.
I don't feel like a lot of the times I'm eating the right things, but I don't. And it sounds like a crazy thing to say, but I don't feel like I'm eating everything that I should be eating, even though I'm eating everything above the ground, as you said.
Yes.
I don't eat anything that's bad. You know, I think I've had one slip up, and that's pretty good for 3 months.
That's
So,
amazing.
But, you know, you're gonna do that. Sometimes
Oh, yes.
it's unavoidable.
Well, you know what? And here's the thing. We get to the point where we're like, oh, I'm so good at this. You know, I've got this. I can eat a little of this or that. And it happened to me at Christmas time. At Christmas time, I was like, you know what? I've been eating this way for 8 months. I'm good. My girlfriend brought over a tin of cookies. You know, 2 or 5 cookies wouldn't hurt me. You know, maybe I ate 2, maybe I ate 5 cookies. And I woke up in the morning, and for the first time in my whole life, and this is TMI, I'm going to warn you, but I couldn't poop. And I was like, what? I'm dying.
And it made you feel bad, didn't it?
Well, I felt so gross, and mostly, like, I was in a panic because I couldn't go to the bathroom. Like, all day long, I couldn't go. So I'm not going to lie. I messaged up all my keto wives, and I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. Save me. And one of my ladies was like, remember flax muffins, Dori? And I made a chocolate chip flax muffin because I thought if the problem is miserable, the cure should be delicious.
Yeah.
And I made me that recipe and I put it on YouTube because I want other people to know, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm not above it. You know what, I have a group and I have to put that out to them too. You know what, sometimes I eat things that I shouldn't too because sometimes we just think we can. You know, oh, I can, it's only one this or it's only one that. It's really not going to bother me until you feel like somebody hit you with their car and you're sick for 3 days. Because that's what happens to me. When I eat stuff I'm not supposed to eat.
That's how I felt when I ate. I felt like crap. I did not feel well at all. I just, it's just like I felt before I started the whole process. And I'm like, it's amazing how
comes rushing back too.
I have more energy. And, like I told you earlier, I have one grandson. I've got another one due in October. So I'm going to be a busy grandma.
You are.
I want to enjoy them, and I can't enjoy them if I don't feel good.
No.
You know what I mean? You can't enjoy your grandchildren when you all you want to do is lay around because you feel like crap. And I don't want to feel like crap.
Well, and we had a lifetime of that, right? Like, raise your hand. I had a lifetime of feeling like crap, like garbage, being sick every day, being in pain every day, having headaches every day. I took 12 to 24 Tylenol just to get through a day, throw in some muscle relaxants there too, just to function. So, I say yay. Let's not feel like garbage anymore. Let's not pump our bodies full of chemicals that really, let's be honest, never helped.
Right. And that's the thing. See, I have migraines. I have other issues. And since I started ketos, I don't have any issues anymore. I don't have headaches anymore. I mean, with the weather changing, there's nothing you can do with allergies.
Yes.
If you have allergies,
you're gonna have allergies.
You're gonna have a reaction, and I'm battling that right now. But other than that, I have not had any issues. I've not had a headache. I've not had the IBS like you were talking about earlier that I normally have. I mean, it's like, it just blows my mind how much better I feel. And I want to get deeper and deeper into it, but I want to know that I know what I'm doing so that I don't screw my body up. Does that make sense?
It does. So I'm going to say this. This is the key to making sure that you're doing it right. So calories don't matter. Your body doesn't understand calories. If it's 4,000, if it's 2,000, calories in sugar, calories in meat, your body doesn't understand that. So that part, if you're not a mather and you don't want to math in your head, you don't have to. But this is the bottom line that you need to keep in mind. 70% of what you eat is fat. 20% of what you eat is protein, 5% is carbs. So that means at the beginning of every meal, your first thought needs to be, what fat do I want today? Because you need to be thinking about what you're adding. So instead of going, I think I want Brussels sprouts, your first thought needs to be, girl, what kind of fat I want on them Brussels sprouts? So, and you just want to keep that in mind. You're eating much more fat than you are protein. So here's a good example. Now, I had a lady message me the other day, and she doesn't know why she's stalling, but she's eating almost as much protein as she is fat. So extra protein converts into sugars and carbs in our body. So you literally want to be eating 70% fat, 20% protein. So the way that you think this in your mind is, if before you would have gone to a restaurant and you would have ordered you a 16-ounce steak with a baked potato and a, veggie side. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go order yourself an 8-ounce steak, and you're going to throw 2 tablespoons of good fat on it. Really, 6 to 8 ounces of meat is plenty. And for most women, 4 ounces is usually enough in a meal if you're adding the amount of fat that you need. So you don't need to eat 16 ounces of steak to be full. You just need 6 to 8 ounces of steak and some good fat with it. So, for example, if you're making your meal, and before you would have had, 2 chicken breasts and, a thing of potatoes and a veggie. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your chicken breast, you're going to stuff it with cheese, you're going to wrap it in bacon, you're going to drizzle a really nice high-fat white sauce on that, and instead of the potato, you're going to have it with a steamed veggie and a side salad. But you're going to be just as full, because you're going to put fat on your veggie, you're going to put fat on your salad, and you're really going to find that with the added fat, you're going to save money on groceries. Because everyone in my house eats less.
We've got to where we eat a lot of salads around here.
Yes.
I boil eggs, cut the eggs up, put it in it, take chicken, grill it, put it in there, lots of eggs.
Oh yes, I have usually 4 dozen eggs in my fridge at any given time. We are egg house. I boil up a dozen that my guy can take to work with him. We keep a dozen boiled in the fridge. I usually have at least 3 dozen on hand, because we do. I eat eggs almost every day at my house. we'll have eggs on the side, either for breakfast or for brunch or for dinner. But we do, and I use a lot for my baking. I do a lot of, baking and recipes, and I use a lot of eggs for that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that basically goes back to what I was saying earlier. Those are the things that I knew I could have.
Yes.
Eggs, Brussels sprouts, green beans. I wore some green bean cans out.
Yes.
Get you some green beans.
Get you some green beans, girl. So I'm going to show you guys how you search for something on my YouTube channel, because I think I'm somewhere in and around 120 videos on YouTube now. So it gets a little complicated depending on what you're looking for, but I'm going to show you how you do it. So what you do is you go to YouTube, and at the very top you go YouTube search, and then you type in Colourful Keto with Dori, and then you type in whatever you're looking for. So let's say, for example, you're looking for pizza. So I'm going to type in Colourful Keto with Dori pizza, and I'm going to search it, and it will bring up the pizza videos that I have already made. Let me try to angle that for you. So then you can scroll and see which pizza videos I've already made. So if you're looking for coffee, if you're looking for 1-minute muffins, my favorite category of recipe is called I don't want to cook, but everybody can't starve. So if you type in, I don't want to cook, but everybody can't starve, it'll bring you up a whole section of my recipes that are family meals in 10 minutes or less. And they're all called, I don't want to cook, but everybody can't starve. What can I eat in 10 minutes or less? And I've got breakfasts, I've got lunches in there, I've got dinners. Because you know what? Let's be honest. We're all busy. And how many times a week are you like, dude, I don't even want to cook dinner. I don't want to. But everybody can't starve. Oh, it's my favorite. Oh, that's my favorite food.
I never want to cook.
That's me every day. Every day I'm like, oh, it's dinner time, and I didn't take anything out again. Good pre-planning, Dori.
Well, I usually lay out something and I'm like, oh, what am I going to fix with it? That's, I'm like, what can I fix with it? He's like, you're supposed to know this. You're the wife. You're supposed to know this. And I'm like, I don't know.
You're the cooker. So I'll tell you some of my favorite things. So my favorite thing to get, and I picked up one last week. If you look at my 5 top money saving tips, that's one of my favorite videos. It shows how to buy meat in bulk. It shows how to make your own butter, how to make your own nut butter, how to make your own seed flour, couple of different tips. But in that one, I bought a big old pork loin, and I get them at Walmart. They're anywhere between $12 and $20 depending on the price. And I buy the big old loin. I cut it into chops. I cut it into cubed pieces to do boneless pork ribs. I cut off a hunk to do a pulled pork. And then that's what I do. Like last week, we had pork all last week. But it was a $12 pork loin, and it fed my family of 4 for all week long. We had pork chops one night, then we had grilled pork the other night, then we had pork chops again, then we had pork bites and salad. And that one makes a lot of meals for not a lot of money for my family, and a lot of different variety of foods. Right. You could do like a pork curry, and you could do, a Alfredo sauce with pork and mushrooms over cauli rice. And you could do, you could even cut it into chunks and do pork tacos. Something like that, right? Yeah. You can make a variety of different things with just your one base meat, and it makes it a lot easier. I did one, and I think it's called meal prep. But what I did was I took a big old pack of hamburger, and I did up 3 dishes. And one was, trying to remember now. One was a cheeseburger hamburger steak that had green onion and burger that we heated up one day. One was a Philly cheesesteak style, and I can't even remember what the other one was, but that was our food for almost the whole week. I pre-made up the meats, and then I had a display of, we had raw vegetables, we had salad, and everybody just got to pick what meat they wanted on what veggie they wanted, and it was 4 days meal at my house. Wow. And I prepped it all. I did a video for it, and I think it took me 20 minutes to make 3 meals worth of supper. So all week long, all I had to do was, pull that out, pop it in the oven. That's today's supper. Pull out my side dish, my salad, and each day at the end of the night, I just topped up my tray and popped it back in the fridge. It was the easiest week of my life, and I don't normally meal prep. I think I might do more of that.
Sounds like it makes it a lot easier.
Well, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
I do a lot of work at the moment, but it saves time on down the road.
Well, and it was the same amount of time I would spend to make one meal, and I made 4 days worth of meals in that same amount of time. I did a really fun kids dance video with my nephews, and they came over and they did their lunch prep Monday to Friday. So we made coconut flour tortillas and pinwheels and cheese and pepperoni chips, and the kids sat down and packed their Monday to Friday lunch, and that was good meal prep, super fun.
Exactly, and you're teaching them too. That's pretty smart.
Well, because who gets tired of making lunches? Like, by October, nobody wants to make their kids lunch anymore. They're like, here's a pack of Cheetos and a Twinkie. Yeah. Have an apple in there. Yeah. Go away.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you. I'm trying to figure out exactly how you were talking about making the pork curry with the gravy. How do you make gravy?
Oh.
My husband loves gravy, and I'm not real good at making regular gravy.
Okay.
But how do you make keto gravy?
Okay. So we either start with the base of our drippings, or you start with just seasonings and either butter or bacon, whatever you have to make your drippings. You would use, if I'm making from scratch, I'll use a little bit of broth depending on what flavor I want, but I thicken with a variety of things. Now I have a couple choices that I use. Depending on the texture that you want, my favorites are psyllium husk, which you only just need a little bit of. I also really like ground flax, and that will thicken as well inside of your gravies. Now, sometimes, depending on how thick you need that to be, sometimes it gets like, I kind of want to say like a snotty texture. Like, I don't really have any better way to say that than, like the white part of the egg. It's kind of a little bit, you're like, ew, that's like snotty. So depending on what you're thickening, you only want to thicken a small amount with that. But what I just recently purchased is xanthan gum. Now, this will also thicken your soups, your stews, and you only need a small amount. When I made my Unicorn Sparkle Bulletproof Coffee last week, I stabilized my whipping cream with xanthan gum. I literally flipped my bowl over and the whipping cream did not come out. So it thickens really, really well, and it does not muck with the flavor of what you're thickening. And with that one, you just need a little pinch. So those are my 3 top choices for thickening. So xanthan gum is expensive. Where I live, it was $16 for that little bag, but it lasts forever. Now, you're in the States, I'm understanding it's around $8 where you are. Nancy got a big old jar for $8, and mine, I got a small bag for $16. But it's worth it all day long. And I only just bought it because I didn't really know what it was for, to be honest with you. I see it in recipes and I was like, I don't know what xanthan gum is. I can't afford to buy that fancy stuff. So I Googled and saw what are replacements for xanthan gum. And what came up was flaxseed, psyllium husk, ground chia seed, other things that thicken. So I just was using the budget-friendly version. And Nancy did a whole bunch of research on xanthan gum. And she was like, Dori, it is going to change your food. It is going to change your life. Girl, you go get you some of that. And I was like, okay. And she's not wrong.
Where can you...
I bought it at the grocery store. So just at my regular grocery store. Nancy buys hers at Walmart. So it just depends where you are.
Because we only have one grocery store and a Walmart.
And failing that,
it's still small.
Failing that, if you live somewhere where things are limited, I know Amazon sells it. If you order things online, it's something you can order through Amazon as well.
Okay.
If you can't find it locally. I live in a small town, and I really, to be honest with you, I can find nothing locally. I can't even buy almond flour in my town. That's why I learned to make everything. Because I started...
I'm actually shocked that our Walmart had it. Because our Walmart doesn't have a lot of the things that other Walmarts have.
Mine has none. We have no sugar-reduced ketchup. We have no keto sweeteners. I have no flours available. I have a hard time even getting unsweetened coconut milk and almond milk at my store. So the options are not there. You know, I just don't have. And that's truthfully why I learned to make everything. Because when I started, I very quickly realized I don't want to drive an hour each way to the city every week because I need ingredients. So I just learned how to make what I need. And it saves money.
Yeah.
And universally, Walmarts don't all have the same thing, and it's frustrating.
Exactly.
A lot of the people that I talk to are in the States, and the products that you guys have readily available, we don't. Coconut aminos is my new favorite whipping boy, because everybody's like, oh yeah, Dori, coconut aminos. It substitutes all soy sauce in all your recipes, and it's really awesome, and it's delicious, and you can buy it anywhere. And I went to all 6 of the stores in my town, and they don't sell it. And not only did they not sell it, they did not know what I was talking about, crazy lady. Coconut what now? You're looking for coconut what now? Aminos? Coconut aminos? It's kind of like soy sauce, and everybody says it'll be with the soy sauce. Yeah, we don't sell that weird hippie stuff.
They look at you like when you laugh.
We don't sell that fancy hippie stuff around here. It's a good thing they already know I'm weird. So when I ask for things like that, they're like, oh yeah, it's the weird lady. Never mind her.
It's bad when they have a name for you.
Right? Oh my goodness. The other day, I went to go downstairs and bug my son, and he's playing his online game, and he's talking to his friends. And usually they say, oh, is that mama? Is that your mom? And I walk in, and his friend goes, is that the Colourful Keto with Dori? And my son goes, yes. Yes, it is the Colourful Keto with Dori. Cheers, darling. Cheers. Oh, God. Somebody called me Colourful Keto with Dori in public the other day. I almost died. I seriously almost died laughing. It was one of my ladies who's always like, oh, my God, hi, Dori, I love you. And I walked in the door in her store, and she's like, oh, hello, Colourful Keto with Dori. And I was like, oh, my God, royal wave. Queen wave, darling. Queen wave.
They make you feel so special.
It does. I'm like, oh, look at me. You know me.
Well, I just call. I tell my husband, I said, I'm going to talk to my unicorn friend.
Do you know what? It's so funny because I love unicorns and mermaids equally, and I always have. But I'm going to say this. People have decided that I am the unicorn princess of keto, and so I'll go with it.
There you go. Right, there you go. I have loved unicorns since I was a teenager.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Until my niece broke all but 3 of them. I was devastated. I had hundreds of ceramic unicorns, and she was like a year and a half old, and I was at work, and my mom let her go in my bedroom, and she destroyed all of my unicorns, and all I could do was cry. All I could do was cry. I'm like, really?
Actually, though, all of my things, you realize my power is in the horn, right?
I was devastated. I was 18. That was all I had that was mine.
And that's, you know what, that's when it starts, though. When we start to lose things that are ours when we have so little. That's how we become really emotionally attached to things. This is how...
I become emotionally attached to food. I really did. Cokes and chips. And I wasn't very big on sweets like candy bars and stuff were Cokes and chips. And when I made my mind up, you know, I was done. I wanted to be healthy for my grandsons. You know, I was like, okay, I've had enough.
Yep.
And I'm still stalled.
So
my scales aren't moving.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So the first thing I want to ask you is, yes, your scale is not moving, but are your clothes fitting differently? Are you getting smaller? Is your shape changing?
I can see a difference in my back because I had like rolls in my back, like 2 rolls, and now I don't have I'm starting to form again.
Okay.
So when I'm starting to form again, I still got my big backside and I still got my chest area.
Okay. So
but everything else is starting to form into shape again.
This is what I'm going to tell you that I only recently learned. So guess what? A stall is only a stall if you are both not losing weight and you're not losing inches. You're not even in a stall, girl. Your scale is stopped, but you're not in a stall. Because when you stop losing inches and you stop losing weight, that's a stall. Now, I'm going to tell you for me that as soon as my scale stops moving, this is when I start to smooth out, lean out. My shape starts to change. But when my scale is moving, my body is not changing. So for me, I feel like it's either or. Either my scale is moving or my body is reshaping. Now, right now, not only am I not losing weight, my scale says I'm up 8 pounds. But I'm down another pant size and another bra size. So not only am I not losing weight, my scale says I gained weight. It was my last month's period weight and it never went away. So, but I look at that and I say, you know what? I don't really care what the scale says because my clothes fit better, my pants feel better, I'm losing inches, I'm feeling healthier. And for me, when I started, my weight loss goal was only 20 pounds. So right off the beginning, I already knew that weight loss was not going to be my main motivation. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to eat better. And I didn't know how to do that. I had no clue how to. I just knew I wanted to. I was so clueless, girl. I had no idea. I didn't even find keto groups right away. I muddled on my own for 4 whole months before somebody was like, you know, there's Facebook groups for that, right? And I was like, what? What now? There's like, what now? There's people out there who do that, who like, want to help you and stuff? And my girlfriend was like, oh yeah, I'll add you to the 3 groups I use. And that's when I got my introduction to Facebook groups. Like, I had already been doing keto I started in April, and I found Facebook groups at the end of August. So May, June, July, August. I'd already been 4 months by the time I found a group. And when I hit the groups, 1 was awesome and 2 were uber shitty. Like, uber shitty. They were mean and they were rude and everything was no, and there was 0 solutions and it was a whole big sea of people ripping each other's faces off. And I was like, wow, you guys are not awesome. Just saying, not awesome. And I stayed in my 1 really cool group. I dropped the not so great groups, and after a while I started my own, and really not intentionally to start a group. One of the groups I was in, somebody posted something about needing a buddy. They wanted a one-on-one buddy, and the response was in the hundreds, like hundreds. And I met one lady from that post, and I became her buddy. And I helped her intensively for the first couple of days. And you really only need that little bit of information. And then she was off and running. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, you know what? It was 3 days of really, really intense help. So I can't really do that with hundreds of people. But if I start just a small group for like 6, 12 ladies, I can help them myself. And I can contribute that way. It's not more than I can handle. I'll just help a couple ladies. And it grew. It grew from there, and I ended up getting an admin to help me and a whole bunch of moderators because we just hit 2,500 members in 6 months from the original 6 to 12 that Dori intended.
I don't even know how I found you.
Luck, baby, luck.
I'm so glad I did.
I'm so glad you found me too.
I have learned a lot from watching your videos.
I'm so glad.
Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. But I've learned a lot from watching your videos and your lives with other people. I've learned a lot by watching you and Dr. Ken together.
I love him.
You know, and it's helped me. It's really helped me. Like, I watched a video of Dr. Ken's Sunday, I think it was, the 13 ways of knowing you're stalling, and I'm like,
oh,
well,
yes.
I do a lot of those, but I don't feel like, I think my scales are bipolar. That's what I think.
Yes.
I have two sets of scales. One says I weigh 140. One says I weigh 151. I'm going with the ones that say I weigh 140.
Right? Give her, girl. I like that one. This is what I'm going to tell you. Do the string challenge with me. I'll grab my string challenge and I'll show you how it works. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Because this is better than the scale. So, when I started the 1 month fitness challenge with Keto Warrior Wendy, my soulmate and my lady who keeps my head straight, this is what she had me do. So, this one is my waist. This one is my hips. This one is my bust. This one is right bicep, left bicep, and I've taken measurements of everything with a string. So then, when it comes time to check, I will take this one as my waist string, and I will hold it up to my waist again and see how much of a difference there is at the end of the month. So this is something that makes me feel not pressured. It's not something I have to do every day. I can do it once a week. I can do it once every 2 weeks. I can do it once a month. But this is a truer gauge of how you are doing and how many inches you are losing than what your scale will tell you all day long.
Right.
And it's easy and it's not expensive. It's just string. You just got to have some string. Now, some people tape it right to the wall. I have a cat and he's a jerk. So I taped it to the paper so when it comes time to take pictures of it, I can tape it to the wall. But seriously, my cat's an actual jerk though. Like, actually though.
I don't have a cat, but I have 3 dogs and they drive me insane.
As soon as I get on live, both my cat and my dog feel that they really require my attention.
Exactly. That's like every time I do something, my dog wants out or my dog wants in. One or the other. I think they're bipolar too.
Girl, I can't even go to the bathroom by myself and my dog's like, "Sir, are you okay? Like, you were gone for 5 seconds and you know, I just want to make sure you didn't die in there. You okay? Hey, by the way, want to play with my bone?" And I'm like, "No, dude. No, dude, I do not want your bone. Go away." "Oh, because, you know, I felt like you wanted my bone."
I actually think the first video I watched of yours, your dog kept trying to come in the kitchen.
Oh my.
with you.
And I was like, actually, she kept leaning, like she's laying right on my leg whining. Right on me. That day she got up on the table to lick the table because Mommy's live. She can't yell at me right now. My cat climbed up on the sink and I was like, actually though, I'm like, "Oh, pardon me while I throw my pen at my cat." And guess what? He didn't get down. He was like, "What? What are you going to do, lady?
I feel your pain.
What are you going to do, lady? You ain't going to yell at me. You're not the boss of me." And he gets very sassy about it too. He's like, "Meow, meow, meow."
My husband won't let me have a cat. We had a bad experience with a cat one time. He won't let me have it any longer.
Well,
I mean, I loved cats when I was a kid because my dad never would let me have one. He always said he had allergies. He was allergic to them. And he ended up with 2. I'm like, what happened to your allergy?
He was allergic to scooping the litter box and taking care of your pets. That's what he was allergic to, doing the work for you.
Exactly. See, this is my baby. This is my very first baby.
Oh, hello, darling.
He is so spoiled. He loves his mama. Say hello, Dori.
Hello, baby kisses. Oh, it's so sweet. Look at that face. Oh, you're good. Kisses. He's like, the weird lady's talking to me, Mama.
He wants down now. See, now he wants nothing to do with it. When I want to show him off, he wants nothing to do with it.
Watch what I'm camera shy.
Yeah.
No, catch my good side.
He's a mess. They all are.
Well, and you know what? We kind of let them boss us a little bit. Just a little bit.
These have become my babies because my babies are grown now. And trust me, they're like babies.
Oh, they are. They are.
He wants to go outside. I let him outside. He wants back in. I let him back in. He's old. He's 9 years old, and he's got arthritis, because weenie dogs are known for bad backs.
Yes.
And so he stands there and looks at me like, Mama, are you going to pick me up and put me in the chair?
I'd like to come sit with you, please. And then you could rub my tummy.
Oh, yes. And it is so funny. We have a king-size bed, and we have 3 weenie dogs that sleep with us every night. And two refuse to get near me. They want to be right up under Daddy. And Copper's going to get right up under my back. so neither one. That's probably why I can't sleep at night.
Probably. Now, I want to ask you, are you taking a magnesium or a supplement at all to help you sleep?
No, I'm not. And that was something that I was going to ask you. Because in the list of questions that we had, that I was writing down, what supplements do I need to be taking?
Okay, so this is Natural Calm. Now, this one is a magnesium supplement. I don't take it on the regular because I don't get cramps and I don't have issues sleeping. But if you have leg cramps or if you have issues sleeping, this is the ticket. These ones are just a sample one that I got, and they're just a one size packet. So you put this in your water and you drink it down before bed, and it will help you sleep. I also use it as a base when I make a keto knockoff Powerade, Gatorade. That's what the base of this is. You use Natural Calm, you use pink Himalayan salt, and you use either what they call new salt, NU salt, or half salt. Which, in all honesty, I didn't have the fancy salt. I just used pink salt. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that would be me, because I don't get lost in the transition a lot, because I don't know all the terms for things, and I get tickled and I laugh out loud when I watch Dr. Ken, because they'll say these things and I'm like, what the crap is
what are you talking about, Dr. Ken?
And I want to say, can you explain that on dumb people terms?
Could you say that in regular people English?
You're way out here. I don't have the college degree, so you're going to have to talk like you're talking to a kid.
Exactly. So we are on our 1 minute warning from Instagram. Do you have any one last question that you want to leave on?
I do want to ask you about something.
Okay.
What do you think about the ketone?
Exogenous ketones. Baby girl, you don't need them. You do not need them. Now I'm going to tell you this.
That's what I wanted to know.
I'm going to tell you this. If you're not on keto diet, taking ketones to pee out aren't going to help you. If you are on a ketogenic diet, you're already getting ketones from your food and you're already burning them. Now, I don't bash them. If you like them, you enjoy them, you got the extra money in your budget.
I haven't tried them. That's why I was asking, because I didn't know. Because see, this has been my problem. I went to CVS. I bought the 2-pack of the ketone strips. And I peed on them every day, every time I go to the bathroom. Spice is like, will you stop? And I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm in ketosis. And he's like, it does not matter. Quit doing that.
That's called peeing on stick addiction.
Yes.
So I'm going to say ketones are awesome if you have a peeing on stick addiction. And we're going to cut out now. Love you, doll.